Do you feel like the passing has become contagious a little bit with this team? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Kelsey try to pull that out in previous years, and the ball movement just seems to be really good right now.
Yeah, I think like we're just trying to play with a lot of pace, and honestly, like that doesn't mean just sprinting back and forth and just in transition. Like I think that means executing in the half court and playing with good tempo. Like if you don't have something, move it to the teammate, cut. Yeah, I mean, I've always said like I'm not a very creative person, but I feel like I'm creative on the basketball floor. It's about the only time you see it. Another person in my life, like I'm not very creative, so I don't know. Like I like to have fun. Like I don't know, make exciting plays. I think at times, like, I'm definitely a high risk, high reward person for sure. And I don't know. I mean, it's not something like you're planning out as you're dribbling up the court. It kind of just happens naturally as it's flowing. Like, you're trying to like, use your eyes to mess with the defender and what they're thinking too. So I think I'm definitely creative on the basketball floor. And, I always try some new things. I think it's finding a balance of like when it's okay to do that and during the games and when not. I think there was times versus LA. Like I know there was a behind the back pass early or in the first or second quarter where we had already had a lot of turnovers. So just knowing, we got to take care of the ball there. So just finding that balance too.
And one follow-up about Casey Collier. You go from growing up watching her to now being like a peer. What has that been like for you and just seeing what she's meant to the league and how great she's played so far?
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of respect for her and what she's been able to do. And she's obviously had a tremendous season. And not only like I've been able to get to know her a little bit over the course of the last year or two. And I think she's just really hard to guard. She has every guard skill, but at the same time has a lot of post skills. So that presents a problem for us. I mean, I remember many times in the game at Minnesota, obviously she didn't play the first time we were there, but the second time we were there, where she just made some shots that you just have to live with. There aren't ways that you can guard that. You have to give her credit. I mean, she makes some tough ones. She can shoot the three. She can stretch the floor. So like, do we guard her with our 4? Do we guard her with our 5? She definitely presents a matchup issue, but I think she just plays the game the right way. You can totally tell that she's their leader. She's kind of who they look to. And she's had that team, have a tremendous year.
Go Matt and Christine.
Yeah, hi, Caitlin. A few weeks ago, you were saying that it was an unspoken goal in the locker room to get to the playoffs. Yesterday, you said that there's still a lot more to prove. So is it vocal now in the locker room of maybe, there's still more teams that we can chase to get better seeding, or is that still kind of unspoken?
Yeah, I don't think that's something we really talk about, honestly. Like, I feel like it's still one game at a time and just approaching the next matchup that we have. I don't think we were I wouldn't say like we were upset with how we played versus LA, but we still felt like we could have played a lot better. So I felt like there was a lot of things we could go back and learn from. And I think tonight coming out from the start and setting the tone, taking care of the ball, getting a good start will be huge for us, because I thought versus LA, like we kind of had a careless start. Like we had some turnovers. We just weren't crisp, and I thought that kind of carried throughout the game. And obviously we found a way to win, but I thought it could have been a lot better for us. So I think for us, it's just the main focus is just every game right in front of us. I think that's kind of been what Christy has been preaching too, is every single game matters. Every single game we want to improve. And I think everybody's done a really good job of approaching it that way too.
Well, Christine and Pat.
You mentioned, every game you look at it and you try to just take that game. But is this one a little bigger? Because you beat them there, of course, even though without Collier. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, what was that, a week or two ago? Mm-hmm. And you may face them in the playoffs. And just the fact that this is such a great team. And I think, as Christy said, they like you, are the only teams that have not only lost one game mm-hmm. since the Olympic break. So is this a little bit bigger?
I wouldn't say it's a little bit bigger. I mean, it's tough. Like, I think this is obviously probably a very highly anticipated matchup from the standpoint. I think we're both 7-1 since the break. Like you said, the potential of us matching up in the first round of playoffs is very, very high. So I think for us, coming out and executing our schemes is going to be very important, because this is the game you're going to go back and watch if that matchup does occur in the first round of, what did we execute? What didn't we execute? What will we want to take away and use once we get to that point? But at the same time, like, you're playing to win this game and win these 40 minutes. So I think that's kind of been the balance of that. But at the same time, like for us, I think everybody in the locker room would say like this is one of the hardest teams in the league to guard, with the amount of movement they have, with the way they shoot the ball, with the pace they play with. So I think for us, it's just, I don't think it's anything different, but at the same time, everybody kind of knows the circumstance. But you kind of want to win the series. I think that's another little caveat to it too, is like we split so far and this is the last matchup. So you want to go out there and win on your home court too.
We got Pat, then we got Mike.
Whether it's just general ball movement or, for example, Kelsey pulling out that behind the back in Dallas. Do you feel like the passing has become contagious a little bit with this team? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Kelsey try to pull that out in previous years, and the ball movement just seems to be really good right now.
Yeah, I think like we're just trying to play with a lot of pace, and honestly, like that doesn't mean just sprinting back and forth and just in transition. Like I think that means executing in the half court and playing with good tempo. Like if you don't have something, move it to teammate, cut, move, get open. And I think we're doing that a lot better. I think at the beginning of the year, the ball just stuck. Like it stuck in people's hands. We're playing one-on-one. Like it just wasn't crisp, clean. It wasn't executed well in the half court. So I think people are setting their teammates up for success a little bit better. I think Kels is just, she has that knack too. She understands the game of basketball really well. Her IQ is really high. And I think she knew, like, once I made that pass to her in Dallas, there was really no way she could have probably got the shot off just from the angle that she was. And Liz was kind of trailing behind, so it just worked out well. So I think we moved the ball really well. I think that's why you see our assist numbers are so high. A lot of assists on high made field goals. That's exactly what you want. But I think overall it's just, moving the ball and not letting it stick. I think we've done a lot better job of that.
Last one, go with Mike.
Caitlin, you go from guards that are literally your best friends you've known for 4 years to the nature of the WNBA, hey, here's your new teammate.
Yeah.
Did you and Kelsey Mitchell have sort of an icebreaker moment where it was suddenly like you sort of understood each other a little better? And I don't know even if it was like Ohio State, Iowa trash talking or something, but do you remember that maybe that first few weeks or so that you guys kind of had that?
That's tough. Honestly, I think it definitely took us some time to like build our relationship and trust with one another. Obviously, like she's been, the main focus of this organization for however long, and me coming in here and getting the keys to the offense and trying to make sure that works for everyone at the same time, whether that's AB, whether that's Liz, whether that's her, trying to get everybody involved while continuing to keep myself involved, I think was something I had to navigate early on. But I think, once we started playing a little bit better together and she saw the pace that we could play with, how I could set her up for success, I think that kind of naturally just built our relationship and made it a lot better. But also I think looking back at even training camp, obviously she wasn't able to participate in that just due to an ankle injury. Like she was always right there on the sidelines and somebody that I tried to go up to and go out of my way to listen and take advice from her, not only because she has it, but because like that's going to help us build our relationship. So I think that mixed with just getting the experience of playing with one another has really helped us develop a great relationship. And I think we both know, like we both have each other's best interests at heart, and it's been a lot of fun for me to play with her. So.
All right. Thank you, everybody.